More money, you got less problems. At least minor ones, all your basics accounted for. Team elite I run with, I'm guaranteed to be Final Four. Less money, you got more problems. More money, you got less problems. At least.
All right. Good afternoon, back community. Bringing Albany communities back. We have Miss Paris McKnight with us this afternoon. I'm not going to say this evening because we're doing a special one this Monday because I had to make sure that I got P on here and I had to get into her schedule. So we're on here on this Monday afternoon, on this holiday afternoon, and she's making time for us to talk to the Albany community. So thank you for being on with us, Paris.
You're welcome.
Listen, I'm gonna start off just by saying is like one of the reasons why I knew I definitely wanted to interview you for the back series is because I love the energy that I see you bring out in Albany every day. You know what I mean? I love the vibes. I love seeing Swaggy P. It's like, yo, it's like two young dudes that I know, my man JC's son and Swaggy P. I'd be like, yo, y'all kids are like sports wise are like in a whole nother league. And be like, yo, these guys are just taking over everything. So, you know, I love seeing the energy.
That all the time.
Huh?
No, I said I get told that all the time. Because he's only like, right now he's 7 years old. So it's like the things that he can do at the age of 7 is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Real talk. And listen, and you have to acknowledge it for what it is. My man JC is always trying to be so subtle with it. I'm like, bro, nah, your son is just in a whole nother league by himself. He's 4. He's beating on kids older than him. Right. I'm just gonna respect it, But thank you very much for taking the time out to talk to us. And like I said, I really wanted to highlight the positivity that I see you bring to the Albany community day in and day out, whether it's within your own household or it's with you and your new movement, with you, Mark, doing the culture movement, or if it's with you over there getting all of the women in shape. You know what I mean? We're gonna highlight a lot of that stuff. We're gonna tackle a bunch of those during today's interview. So thank you again. I can't thank you enough.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Okay, not a problem. Well, let me see. So for everybody who doesn't know you, and actually before I even get there, I almost forgot my introductory question. We've been quarantining now for about 7 months now, I think so. Mm-hmm. How have you and your family been doing during this time period? How has quarantine affect you, or what kind of creative things do you guys do to get through this pandemic?
At first it was a little tough. I would say it was tough because we couldn't get out as much as we normally would, but we made the best of it. I feel like my fitness level has gone to different levels, but basically making yourself useful. So I feel like my fitness has gone up.
Okay. We'll take it. It was like, and I think I've seen you chime in a bunch of times, especially for parents who have school age children. You know what I mean? In regards to being able to make smart and healthy decisions for them and their family, and whatever it is that they come up with is the best thing for them and their family. Because, you know what I mean, that's a whole nother dynamic adding into the pandemic situation when you got school age children. So
I feel like I'm a very positive person, and I don't like anything negative. So if you could shine more light on the positive things that we do instead of the negative things that we can do, we can come together and make it better for everybody. So instead of complaining about the things that the schools might be doing as far as everything being unorganized and them not having proper protocols and procedures in place with these kids going back to school, why not get parents together and talk about the things that we need to do for our children so that we can help the schools make things better?
There you go. Listen, I'm with you all the time. I get beat up. I get beat up from some of my homeboys and my frat brothers because they always be like, "Well, you always want to talk about positive stuff." Be like, because there ain't nothing else to talk about.
No, no negative energy over here.
Nah, man. Be like, yo, he don't want to say nothing about the school that's negative. He don't want. Nope, I don't. You know what I mean? I want to focus in on what's the goal. What is it that we can do to make it better, and try to make it better. That's
right.
All right. Well, I appreciate that answer. With that said, now I'll get into your first official answer. Paris, if you could let us know, what are you doing now? What kind of work do you do, or any type of passion projects that you're working on? here's your opportunity to tell the Albany community about you.
Well, I work for Department of Social Services, so I'm in social work. I work actually in the SNAP department, so it's food stamps.
Mm-hmm.
I would say like during this whole quarantine process, that has been very, very hectic, you know, as far as people losing their jobs and, you know, I'm compassionate. So, you know, I have a big understanding of with everything going on right now. My job has been very difficult, but I'm making the best of it.
Okay.
Also with fitness, I'm big on fitness and women empowerment. So getting women together, working out, not just women, kids too. I know at one point in time we had men and kids join us like at Washington Park for our workouts and stuff. So that's exciting because I get people telling me, oh, I have a kid, I can't come to the workout. I'm like, bring your kid with you. You know, like I have a woman that's at the workout right now that brings her 1-year-old in a stroller with her. She runs with the stroller. So, you know, anything right now, I work for Department of Social Services, but that's not my only passion. My passion is getting women together to our fitness groups and working out, staying in shape, eating healthy, and just coming together.
Okay. Now, what gave you the idea, or how did that come about? Because I also see that you guys got a TGIF there with y'all a lot of times, giving y'all that musical push that you need. But how did that whole collective or collaborative come together?
Well, Craig is a longtime friend of mine since grade school, you know. So any event that he has, like he's currently doing like the Wind Down Wednesdays, getting everybody together at home so we don't got to meet at a bar or a club or anything like that. So that's a longtime friend of ours. But as far as, and I noticed that women and men cling to that, like the whole music Wind Down Wednesday thing, and they love Craig. He's popular, he's known in the community, everybody loves him. So we thought about it like we got Jamel Hood also. So we thought about it like, why not bring Craig to one of the workouts to get more people coming, you know? And then that started a whole big thing with Craig DJing our workouts and the women working out. So it just created a good vibe, good atmosphere, everybody wanting to come.
Nice.
Yeah.
And listen, man, when you have the right people in place to do it, it's just like people will gravitate towards the charisma that you bring towards it. And I can see it even watching it from the DC metro area. Like I said, it's a positive vibe, man. And it's dope because it's like no excuses, no days off. Like you said, she's got a 1-year-old. Listen, I'm still about here. We're going to get it together.
Exactly.
So. Okay.
Sometimes I might go off topic a little bit because I talk about other stuff
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Don't worry about that. Listen. The beauty of having your own and doing it your way is that you get to showcase it and you get to show the human side of us that, you know what I mean? I go off on a tangent too. So sometimes I got to tell myself to stop answering every time that you answer. Oh yeah, I like that too. It's like, nah, so sometimes you might just see me just like, namaste.
Yeah.
Well, this is my I like to call this this is my go-to question right here because it tells me a lot about you. What's your favorite place to visit in Albany and why?
I would probably have to say the Arbor Hill New Courts or softball field. And I say that because it's the place where my parents grew up, their parents grew up, where I grew up, and actually where my son is growing up as well. This is where we go play kickball, we play basketball, we play softball, any sport you can name that's over there that's involved. I'm big on community engagement, and I like being able to bring my son over there and he gets to play with the other kids in the neighborhood as well. You know, these are our communities. This is where we grew up at. So I would say the Arbor Hill Sports Complex, as they call it now, but this the new courts to us.
That's right. Listen. Okay. Yeah, that was definitely my my favorite go-to place for a long time. So I think I'm gonna end this season of interviews with Decky and Flay. I think I'm probably gonna collaborative bring them both in to end it, just because it's been so many topics that's going on just around that one area of Albany. But I think I'm gonna end
I think that's a good idea. Decky and Flay have been a big influence in our community, especially in that area, and really stand up men in our community. So they definitely need to speak to them.
Real talk. Real talk. Let me see. All right, I got a question for you. Thinking of your younger self, Miss Paris, what do you wish someone had taught the younger Paris McKnight?
I would say credit and finances. I feel like the things that I used to care about when I was 16, 17 years old is not the same things that I care about when I'm 33 years old.
Okay.
So I feel like also even with school, you know, high school, growing up, like I feel like we should have been taught more with, you know, more about credit, you know, things that matter in the real life world today. So, yeah.
Okay. It's kind of tough though. It's kind of tough. I just had this argument. What was a debate? My boy Kashif came over here the other day.
Right.
We were outside in the backyard until about 12:31 in the morning, and finances were like one of those things. And we talk about financial literacy, the things that we wish that we would have had sooner.
Right.
But it's kind of hard to focus in on those. It's like if we come from families or if we're in current situations where we're focusing on the short term, because sometimes your short-term dangers or your short-term obstacles outweigh the long-term, and in regards to what you can see at that particular time. Right. So it's kind of like, you know, being able to put our families into better situations so that way we can see for the long term from the beginning, because you know what I mean, it's always good information whenever you choose to get it, but it's you know what I mean, how do we change the mindsets? How do we prepare ourselves to deal with it early on? Like right now, my 4-year-old likes to go to McDonald's every time we pick him up from daycare, right? So he'd be like, "Daddy, Mommy," he said, can we go to McDonald's? And I'd be like, half the time I'll be trying to say no, but then I'll end up driving. We'll go to McDonald's or whatever. But I just said it the other day. I said, you know what? Now, because him and his brother got their own piggy bank in their room. So I'm like, okay, next time y'all want to go, we're using y'all money. And if y'all don't have y'all money with y'all, I'll pay for it, and y'all gonna reimburse me, and I'm gonna break down this thing to you. Yeah,
you know what? That's a good idea too, because Princeton does the same thing. So the next time you want to go to McDonald's, when we get back to the house, give me your money.
That's right. and then you're gonna start thinking about it. Be like, oh, listen, I don't want to go all the time because I still need some money for some toys. I need the money for a book. So, but yeah.
No, but that's good as far as the saving money part, because I think that's another thing that we should have been taught as far as saving money. My father was big on saving money. Always taught me save money, save money, save money. You don't really grasp the concept of it when you're young, because you want to spend on whatever you want to spend on, whether it's clothes or shoes or, you know, going out, whatever it is, but big on saving money. And that's something that I'm actually teaching my son right now as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
And your priorities change, man. It's like sometimes you got to go through situations to have a better understanding of it. Sometimes you got to mess things up to be able to come back and say, I'm never going to mess it up again. You know what I mean? But it's just like the earlier on we can grasp those principles and know what to do with it, it's really going to help us later on. But like I said, you couldn't tell the younger Tyrell about credit. It'd be like, oh, credit is so far away. What am I supposed to do with credit? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The 37-year-old Tyrell would be like, nah, go sign for who? Nah, kid. You like, you know what I mean? But
I was actually just telling my friend the other day when we were talking. So it's not really personal, but I think when I first went away to college, I got a credit card and I maxed out the credit card. And then
it's normal.
And then when it was time to pay it back, I would make little small payments, not knowing that, okay, you keep your credit under a certain percentage, your credit score go up or go down. And I didn't know about any of that. Maxed out the credit card, decided, oh, I don't feel like paying it no more, and didn't care about it. And literally it was nothing, no skin off my back. And then as you get older, like, you know what, I got to fix my credit. I got to get it together. I got to, you know, you have to go through those things to realize, like, these are the things that are important when you do get older.
Oh,
so,
definitely.
But that little things like that, it taught me, you know, to do better.
Listen, man, and I mean, sometimes, imagine even as a kid, sometimes some of us growing up in the urban areas, we don't even have credit by the time we can get credit because our parents has used our name for different things. So it's just like, you know what I mean? It's like, no, these are not things that we are going to do for our kids. These are not things that, you know, this isn't the way to create Black wealth. You know what I mean? But sometimes, like I said, you got to go through it. I went through that same process. Like, I didn't know how to pay bills early on in my life. I wanted to travel. I wanted to do X, Y, and Z. And I was like, bills, I'd be late to pay that. I'm going to rob people and pay Paul. But like I said, you go through those experiences, and then later on, you start to realize how far behind you are, or how far. That's the biggest point. We, especially in Albany, have to stop comparing ourselves to just the people that are around us there in Albany, because it's, you know, it's a lot of other people. The world is big. So when you start thinking that, you know, you start comparing yourself to what people are doing your age in other areas. And it's just like, okay, because sometimes like, oh, I'm fine because I'm doing better than that person. But it's like, that's not your competition. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know what I mean? You got to look at it on a larger scale and say, you know, how do I really prepare myself to play on a world scale, not just here in my community? And that'll change too.
And now that we've prepared ourselves, it's like we can teach our children to prepare themselves as well. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Speaking of school, I know you did mention school. Do you think that education saved you or opened up doors for you? If so, why or why not?
Yes, I do feel like that. I feel like you mean like college experience?
Yeah. College, undergrad. Actually, so this question here, because there is a later question that comes in that's just for college. But this one here is just education in general. Do you think education has saved you and opened up doors for you?
I believe so. Yes, I have. As far as high school, I feel like I had a good experience with high school. I don't want to touch on the college, I guess, because you said that question is coming later, right?
Yeah.
Because I have something I want to say about college too. So,
well, go ahead if you want. You can answer that question right now, and I skip it later.
I've always said like what I said, college. It guarantees you an education, but not a job type thing. I feel like we spend a lot of money going to college. I'm big on going to college. Yes, we should go to college, but I think we should be more mindful of how we go about, you know, things, especially when it comes to our children. Like we talked about saving money and being prepared for those things so that we're not in debt with, you know, student loans and things of that nature. My experience going away to college was amazing. I feel like it taught me, I grew up a lot from it. I went to school in New York City, so it was different from Albany. Staying on campus, peer pressure, you know, drinking, smoking, you know, it's so many different things going on around you. And that's when your mind goes into play. Like, okay, should I be doing this? Should I not be doing this? But I feel like my education, it taught me a lot.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
You seem so happy about doing this. This is good.
I'm always happy about doing it, man. It's I love Albany. So it's like two things people always associate me with. My school for undergrad in Johnson C. Smith down in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Albany. So it'll be like, yo, you know what I mean? I just had a friend, him and his wife went up to Saratoga and with their son for the weekend just to go ahead and hang out, right? And it's just like, oh yeah, I'm in Rail's backyard, you know what I mean? So it'd be like, no, I love Albany. You know what I mean? I love Albany. I love Charlotte. Half the people that's down there in Charlotte now, because I've been advertising Charlotte since like 2005, 2006. I would bring a whole group from Albany with me, about 7-8 people every year. And we go down and party for CIs for my homecoming.
Right.
And it was like, so mad at those people live in Charlotte now. And they be like, yo, how you been advertising Charlotte? And you know what I mean? You don't live there yet, but now we live here. You know, but yeah. Albany's one of those places, man. So yeah, I get excited about doing these interviews because one, I love the positivity, and I realize that the more that we get a chance to see that this exists still here. Some of us have moved on. Some of us like moved out of Albany, like myself, but some of us are still there. You're still there, and you're still creating a level of positivity that still shines even throughout all of the negativity that's being broadcasted there. So it's like, we need to highlight those stories more, because the more we start to see it, the more you can see that, you know, I can still be like Paris. I can still be like this person. It's not just negative. So don't just listen to everything you see on the Times Union, or you read about, or you see on the internet, or you see on social media. You focus in on the type of person that you want to be, and let that showcase and let that light shine. So yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Let me see. Can you think of any attitudes, behaviors, or experiences that were normalized in Albany, but you know now that these were only limited to Albany? I'm mentioning that because I know you said you went to school down in the city, but I always use for an example. They're like, well, what do you mean by this question, Rel? I said, like, Albany has unique terms. It has unique things that we do just for Albany, like boy. You know what I mean? Everyone to say boy or whatever.
Yes.
And I got all my buddies down in Charlotte. Whenever I see them, they be like, boy. And these guys have never been to Albany a day in their life. But, you know, it's like certain things that are just central to Albany. And you can share it with other people. But have you identified anything that you recognize that's, that'll make you so Albany?
So Albany. I guess like you said, the terminology that we use sometimes. I noticed that you said mad when you were speaking. I know we use that a lot. I really can't, not really the way that we dress, because that's I don't know. I can't think of too much right now.
Okay. We'll take
I mean,
I'll
can
take
you
that.
name something else besides the terminology that we use?
Let me see. Yeah, no, I actually, I think it's gonna be the terminology. You know, it'll be like a la born. It'll be, I can't say it's dress, because our dress isn't just unique to Albany. It really is what's going on with the time, but it's more so terminology that we use.
I think it's more so terminology.
Yeah. Let me see. The Black Lives Matter movement isn't just about police brutality. It's also about dismantling systematic racism. If you were in charge of mobilizing one of the Black Lives Matters events in Albany, what are 2 or 3 events that you would want us to focus in on as a community, and why?
Is it a certain event or just things that we should be doing as a community?
Yeah. Things that we should be doing.
I would just say a lot more community engagement and giving back to our communities, like making our neighborhood safe. So one of the things that I'm in the process of doing, which a lot of people don't know, is I'm in the process of getting into law enforcement.
Okay. Congratulations.
So thank you. State trooper in Albany PD.
Okay.
So state trooper is kind of on hold to me right now because of COVID. The academy was supposed to start this fall, but the spring academy got pushed back when everything with COVID first hit. And then the fall academy that I should be in, like this coming fall, that obviously is pushed back right now. They're not really doing like promotions right now and everything. So it's kind of on hold. So I'm still waiting and praying on that. As far as Albany PD, the academy for that should be starting in January. So God willing, I should be going to the academy in January.
Okay.
So that's a big thing for me. I'm big on community engagement, and we talk about, you know, the movement and things that we want to do. And I feel like if we want to make a difference and a change in this world, we got to put ourselves in a position to win.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not, you know, I'm a Black woman before anything. And I feel like, you know what, I need to put myself in a position where I can engage more in my community. I need to give back to my community.
Okay. The Tuesday nights is the nights I normally do my interview. So tomorrow I have Juan Cantor coming on from Albany Police Department.
Yes, Juan.
Yes, my guy.
Okay, that's good.
So
Are
he'll
you gonna
be
ask
on.
Juan the same questions too?
Every person that gets interviewed gets asked the exact same questions.
Okay.
And that's the cool part, just to hear how everyone's experiences are different, and how certain questions resonate with other people in a different way, because it doesn't resonate with everyone the same way. So I always get different answers. But he getting the same answers. Me and Juan grew up in the same household for years. So you know what I mean? He
Juan
getting the same.
cool.
Yeah,
Juan
man.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but good luck in advance with that pursuit. I do
Thank
got a
you.
bunch of friends up there that have chosen to become part of
Yep.
APD, and I think that the more people that we have from the community that are vested in
Yep.
the community will help to change the dynamics of what we're seeing.
And that's exactly why I chose this career path.
Nice.
So.
Nice. And I'm sitting there. I'm thinking of Tanya right now. You know Tanya?
Tanya. What's her last name?
Why am I drawing? Don't worry about it, because I'm not even gonna be able to remember her last name right now. But she's from Albany High. She used to play ball.
Yeah.
I can't think of it right now, but she actually just added me on Facebook maybe about like 2-3 weeks ago, something like that. But
Okay.
that was my lady when I used to go to Albany High, man. She was
Yeah.
always cool. But yeah, she's part of the department now too.
Okay, that's good. I'm sure I meet more and more people because I already have friends and people that I know that are in the department, and you know they're pushing for me. You know,
Nice.
Yeah, because we need to have more people in our communities working in that field that are in our own communities.
I agree. One of the young men that we used to mentor in the model program, Jamar, he's part of the department now too.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
Man. Good luck with that one. And
you'll
yeah,
know
good
when
luck
you'll know when it happens.
Okay.
I'm just being patient.
Okay. Patience is the best thing to be, man.
Every morning I wake up, I think I wrote this on Facebook before, but every morning I wake up, I pray for patience because I feel like it gets you through anything in life.
Patience and endurance.
Yeah.
Those two things. I think that was my prayer for a long time. God, give me patience and endurance. With those two things, you can get through almost everything. So I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yep.
Wholeheartedly. Let me see. Sadly, Albany has seen more and more violence, and our communities have experienced a lot of loss over the years. What changes would you like to see? What are your hopes for the city, Ms. Paris?
I think I touched on that a little bit before, but we need more stand-up men and women in our communities. You know, more people getting involved. I feel like everyone, you know, doesn't speak up as much as they should or get involved. I see a lot of children that are just running wild in our streets, you know, and even if it's not your child, it doesn't mean that you can't be the person to talk to, you know, one of these children in our communities to make things better for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So more engagement. More engagement. Yeah, I'm trying to see what my takeaways.
I'm trying to think of the word I want to
were.
say for it. I can't think of the word right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say this, you know, I think it hurts my heart, it hurts my insides a lot to see how much negativity we're experiencing in Albany right now, because I came up in Albany at a time where it existed. It definitely got real,
but it wasn't this bad.
Yeah, it wasn't this bad. It wasn't this bad. Exactly.
This is probably the worst that I've seen our community lately. This is the worst that I've seen it. But you know, you do your part to do, you know, what you can do when you can do it. Like even with, you know, the women being engaged and coming to workouts and, you know, focusing on their fitness, you know, that's one focus away from everything else that's going on in our community.
Correct.
So if everybody could have that mindset, you know, that could take the focus off a lot of the negative things that we have going on in communities and focus on the positive things.
Okay. I agree. And I mean, making it safe. Right. I mean, it's just like, I mean, sometimes, like I said, making it safe gives us an opportunity, gives us a chance. And it was never this bad. There was always a pocket of people who got involved in the street life. I definitely was there at one point myself. So it was always a pocket of people there. It was never like everybody embraces it and be like, this is what this is what we're aspiring to be. It's like, nah, man, it's more to life than just the aspects of that negativity that we've been seeing sometimes. And it's kind of like, I can't wait, and I know it's gonna come. I can't wait for Albany to turn it around and get back to what it used to be, because not necessarily what it used to be, because I want it to be better, I love the social unrest that's going on because it's forcing us to deal with dynamics and racism on levels that
Right.
we've never been able to do in the past. But I
Right.
also am equally excited and looking forward to the place where Albany becomes safe again, and people can really start to take advantage of home ownership, because it's a great place to build for yourself. You know what I
It
mean?
really is. Like taking advantage of the different programs. I feel like a lot of people don't know the different programs that is offered in our neighborhoods, because a lot of people don't get into home ownership.
Yeah.
I'm one of them. I wouldn't really say I'm actually in the process. Me and Mark are in the process right now.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
you know, that's a goal for us within the next year.
Okay.
But,
okay.
You know, whatever information that I have, I can give to someone else. I like to be very informed. So I like to give a lot of information to other people as well.
Okay. Listen, was it a couple weeks ago we did an interview with Charles Toohey? You know Charles Toohey?
Charles Toohey, I'm not sure.
So Charles Toohey is a multi-millionaire. His family is into development crazy. I mean, they got wings of Albany Med named after them. They're big in real estate, so a lot of the housing projects and stuff like that, that's Charles Toohey. But him and Brandon Stanfield were on talking about home ownership, Black wealth, and how to get more people involved and making it more accessible. So we talked about the whole history about redlining our communities, how banks segregated us from being able to have access to these funds to be able to buy properties and stuff like that. And so now, just like, we got access to way more information right now. We got access to way more money. And it's just like, we should be doing it on a way bigger level than what we have been. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, let me see. Another Albany question for you. How did growing up in Albany prepare you for adulthood?
I want to say, give a shout out to my parents. You know, they did it.
Oh, okay.
My parents. What did you think I said?
No, I didn't hear it. I was like, what?
No, my parents, I always shout out them or appreciate them, because they had me at a very young age, you know, and the things that they taught me were some of the things that I took on with me, as far as like not wanting to do the same things, you know, have children at a very early age. You know, they were, even them being young, you know, my mother had me at 16. My dad was 18, you know, like they were very, very young, but you know, what they instilled in me, you know, I still appreciate to this day. You know, the neighborhoods that we grew up in Albany, it's like you wanted different things out of life. I like traveling, you know, seeing the world, self-reflecting, you know, that helped me, like wanting to get away from the norm of what I'm always around, you know? So, you know, that helped me a lot.
Yeah, and I think I just realized that too. It was like, I just realized this year that you're a Virgo. So that's part of who we are naturally as people. So it was like, oh, okay, that's why that energy is the way it is.
My friend, her name is Danielle. You might see me like post her sometimes. She's like the light girl with the big afro, or sometimes she wears the dreads like me sometimes.
Don't get me a line.
Oh, I don't know. But every time I do something, she's like, oh, that's the Virgo in you. Like she always says it, like we're very organized. We like to be prioritized. We analyze everything before we do it. We, you know, we like to be on point. So
don't let me go grab my wife right now, because she'd be like, yep, because Tyrell overanalyzed everything with his stinking ass.
I overanalyze everything, and sometimes I'm a little bit of an overthinker too.
Yep.
I mean, that's just in the nature.
Yeah, I think that I think that there's great attributes that we have naturally just underneath that sign, and I think the more mature, I'm not going to say older, because some people never tap into it, but I think the more mature that we become, we end up learning our strengths and weaknesses, and trying to capitalize or strengthen our weaknesses is always a goal, always trying to get better. Not perfect, You know what I mean? Even though some people say, oh, you want to be perfect. No, I just want to be better.
Yeah.
I want to be
Right.
better. You know what I mean? I want to be in the same spot, in the same position. Every year, I want to look at myself and be able to say that, you know, that's where I was at last year. You know what I mean? That's where I was at 2 years ago.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But no, yeah, man. Albany, I think Albany is a great place. Albany shaped me so that, like, when I went away and went down to Charlotte for school, it was just like I felt like I was prepared for almost everything. I felt like I was grown before I left.
Right.
But being the mental toughness, the mental and physical toughness that you learn in Albany can be carried over in almost everywhere. I know people always say, like, living in New York City, if you can survive there, you can survive
You can make
anywhere.
it anywhere.
And I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. And if it's like, oh, Albany's upstate, that doesn't apply. Actually,
nah,
you won't come
does.
here. Listen, it applies right here too.
Right.
Right here.
No, I agree. I agree with if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I remember the first time my parents, like, of course, we've been back and forth to New York City. We have family in New York City and everything. But when I first went away to college, I was in New Rochelle. So it's like Westchester County.
Yep.
So I remember when my parents first dropped me off at school, I'm like, all right, bye guys. You know, we parted ways. It was in the beginning of September. Next thing you know, my dad called me, what you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm at the Labor Day. I'm in Brooklyn right now. They're like, you're doing what? But it just, I always had that carefree attitude. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever I want to do, whatever makes me happy. You know, I never really, followed behind anybody. I've always been really carefree.
Nice. Yeah, man. Hey, and that's the way to be. I always pick on your aunt a lot, Lexi. That's my girl. So and I always be like, yo, yo, Lex, your personality is a whole different type of personality, and
Right.
you deserve more than what you give yourself just here. So I just seen her. I came up there for the funeral a couple weeks ago, and me and her is outside talking. Whenever I see Lexi, I get on her. I be like, yo, so what we traveling to? So when we travel, she's like, leave me alone, Rel. Leave me alone. I'm like, nah, man, because you got a personality that sometimes if you don't do that traveling aspect that you just mentioned of, you can be stifled sometimes and be like, nah, man, you've seen too much here. You deserve to see so much more to balance that out. So, but yeah, traveling to do that, man.
It's so crazy. I tell her that too.
Listen, she says everybody tells her that. I used to offer to drive her down here with me because she's got another friend that I call my cousin too that lives about an hour away from here. But for years, I've always been coming back and forth from Baltimore to Albany, and I'd be like, Lex, you want to come down there with me this week? All right, Rel, I'm gonna come. And then she just be off the map. Be like, yo, I ain't messing with you no more. But yeah, she's out there traveling now though.
So, yeah, she is. Yeah. She's been going to North Carolina a lot more. So, like, she's a sweet soul. But I always tell her that, too. I remember the first time, I think I was turning 21 years old. And I remember she always gets on me about it, too, because she says, oh, remember that time when I offered to pay for you to go to Vegas for your 21st birthday? You didn't want to go? And I don't know what I was thinking at the time because I travel all the time. I'm big on traveling. I always try to get her to travel. And when she tried to take me to Vegas for my 21st birthday, the only reason why I didn't want to go to Vegas, like, I don't want to go. I don't like to gamble. And she was like, what? You could just go. You don't have to gamble. And still to this day, she gets on me about not wanting to go to Vegas and my excuse was because I don't like gambling. But I think she was more into traveling before. And now I think she's more like more comfortable traveling. Yeah.
I was excited because we're both a part of this group chat from my other side of my family with the Robinsons. So that's how she ended up there. So I was like, is this Lexi? She's like, yo, Rel, leave me alone, man. Leave me alone. But yeah. Well, let me see. Let me get you back in here. I got a $1 million question for you. Literally, this is $1 million question. If you had $1 million to invest in building community resources in Albany, how would you spend it?
I would probably try to build more gyms in our neighborhood and give our kids places to go. One person I look up to right now, Jamel Hood. I don't know if you remember the gym that's on First Street in Albany. It's like
Oh, I know. What is
Norma
it? The
Chapman
Hood. What is it? Hood House of
Hood's House
Hoops.
of Hoops.
Yeah.
If you see that gym right now, you would be in such shock. Like, he has
Nice.
put like literally his all into this gym.
Nice.
Before he did renovations, like he started the renovations in July. Before the renovations, the floor, that gym floor was so bad. The seats were bad. The paint, and it was just really run down. You know, it wasn't a place where you would want to go to and, you know, ball out on Saturday mornings, whatever, you know, take your kid to. Like, it wasn't a place. He literally seen this vision and like, I'm going to do this gym. And he told me, I'm going to make it happen. And literally that was in July, like June. It's now October and he's gotten the floors done. It's painted all black. You see Hood's House of Hoops in the middle of the court. He just built like this plexiglass on the wall, like upstairs from the gym. And on it says, "It was all a dream." That is like so motivational to me. And he's going to put like treadmills and bikes up there. So while you're looking down through the plexiglass on the court, you can see like if your kids are down there while you're working out. They have books set up in there, like Hood's House of Hoops attire. And it's just motivation for me because we don't have, especially right now, we don't have places in our neighborhoods where our kids can go. And, you know, like we had back in the day, we had the Albany Community Center. That was huge. That's now a charter school now, but back in the day, I remember living on Colony Street, walking up Lark Street and being able to go into the community center, and we have the room where we play, what is it, foosball, or the gym where we play basketball. We had dance teams, drill teams, you know, and we had a little library in there. That was like my favorite place to go when I was young. So I feel like, you know, if I could give back or, you know, put money into something, it would be to create, you know, more gyms and places for our kids to go to, like the Arbor Hill Community Center, where, you know, things that we grew up wanting to go to. And that was our safe place, our happy place, you know? So I would do that. Something like what Hood is doing right now.
Okay. Okay. Listen, I think almost every person that I've brought on the interview has highlighted the lack of the community centers that we used to have. Think about it. You mentioned Arbor Hill. There was Arbor Hill. There was St. Joe's. It was the Boys and Girls Club. It was
the Boys and Girls Club was big too.
Listen, the YMCA. It was the joint up on Quail Street. That's the boxing center now. It was. We had so many different places to go, and now it seems like it's such a shortage. So I think that would be a great place to invest in. And I know they're going to get ready to do one up on 3rd Street Park again. I know Jamel Robinson is working with that one with the city, of course. But we need more of that.
I know, and it gives our kids a place to go. I remember being in high school and at the YMCA on Washington Avenue, we had teen night, you know, and
my man Cook.
Right. Oh yes, love Cook. We would go there on the weekends, and it would just be a safe place for us to go to. It wasn't really about going to a party or anything when we were young. It was just, we're going to go to teen night. The boys would play basketball. The girls would be over here dancing or, you know, hanging out. Or me, I was a tomboy back then, so I would want to play basketball with the boys. But, you know, we had all these places, and I feel like now we don't have that for our children. One of the kids, yesterday we had a women's workout, 9:30 in the morning at Hood's Gym on 1st Street. And one of the kids came in and put their first name. And Hood asked, you know, you got to put your last name too. And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, you don't know how to spell your last name? He said, no. And he was 7. And, you know, it made me feel fortunate because I have a 7-year-old who can do things, read, write, and do all of these things that you wouldn't expect maybe a normal 7-year-old to be able to do. And maybe because I'm a parent, Mark's a parent, that we're on top of our kid, we care, our education comes number one. And it's like you get this boy from, you know, in the community. And I'm like, I asked Hood, I'm like, where's this boy from? He said, 1st Street. I said, what school does he go to? He said, the school of 1st Street, you know? And just hearing that and have this 7-year-old who should know how to spell his last name come into the gym and not know how to write his name. It made me feel like we got to do more for the kids in our community. Like, they need us. If we had programs like we did, like the Arbor Hill Community Center back in the day, where you coming in, you had all of these staff, you know, everybody that looked out for us. I remember having, I don't know if you remember Shamika Jenkins.
Not by name.
All right. But she was one of the staff. She was really close to my parents. You had the counselors that were close to our parents. They were a little bit younger, but they were close to our parents. But we walked up in there, we were in the library, we were in the gym, we were doing this, we were doing that. I feel like we don't have that anymore. We don't have that community engagement to where our kids have somebody to look up to, or even counselors where they can go and we can teach them, you know? So it's a lot, but definitely something for our children to do in the communities, and for us to be more engaged. It don't even always have to be about money, you know.
It's never always about money, and I think that's what people always.
With helping people, always ask to, like, oh, why don't you charge for workouts? And I'm like, I mean, you can, like, you know, charge for workouts, but that's not why I'm here. That's not why I'm here. I have my day job, you know. I make money doing other things, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here to get women together and to uplift them, to, you know, speak positivity and, you know, help them. That helps me. You know, I get a sense of peace helping other people. You know, working out and helping people has become my outlet.
Nice. Ain't nothing else to add on to that.
Right. I was just rumbling and talking.
No, that was good.
Like, all over.
That's good. And this is like really, I appreciate your answer, because everything isn't always about money, man. So sometimes it's just about, you know what I mean, using the God-given talents that God has given to us, and how can I, like you said, play my small part in the larger scheme of things. So the word synergy, right. You know what I mean? The sum of the whole is greater than any of the individual parts. But if we all do our little part, the whole picture will come together. So.
Right. No, I agree.
Let me see. Success is measured in many different ways. How do you measure success, and how do you stay motivated when you face obstacles?
I would probably say my son. You know, my son motivates me. I just feel like, you know, I have somebody that's looking up to me. You know, I have to set an example. I'm all for setting examples, you know, and being that I have my son, you know, looking up to me, it makes me want to go harder. It makes me want to provide a better life for him. You know, and I have other people that look up to me as well. It's just like setting examples for other people.
Okay. All right, and this might go back to the last question. I can almost hear your answer before you say it. What about your life's path are you the most proud of?
My son.
I knew it.
Yeah, I would say my son, having balance, patience, staying consistent.
Okay.
You know, I don't, it's not really, it's how I move through life. How I feel about, like, that I'm most proud of, you know? Like I said before, I wake up every morning, I pray for patience, like, patience to get through the day, no matter what it is, whether it's work, whether it's, you know, sports with my kid, whether it's my relationship, you know, my family, and having that balance, being able to juggle home life and your personal life, like with friends, work, you know, it's a lot to juggle, but I find that I balance everything well. Yeah.
Okay. Good. And it's always going to be a readjustment. You know what I mean? As soon as you find your balance, something else, a curveball is going to come in there. And it was like, now I got to find a new balance around this curve too. So it's a constant readjustment. But as long as you have the mindset that I'm already, I know it's going to come, and I just got to adjust as it comes. You know what I mean? It makes it a little bit easier, as opposed to fighting change. Be like, no, I want this to stay the same. Just like, just got to go with it. Go with it. I'm
big on things happen when they're supposed to happen. I was supposed to get into the police academy earlier with state trooper, and I remember the first year I got held back because I have a cross tattoo, and it's on my lower neck. So they said, oh, your tattoo is going to be removed. This is why I couldn't meet with like the psychologist. And I'm like, okay. And I felt like I could have just said, you know what, forget it. I'm not going to do it. But I'm like, no, I'm going to do it. So I started doing laser, and it took a while. And then once I got part of my tattoo removed, which I'm still in the process of getting removed, you know, but due to COVID, everything is kind of on a standstill with that. But once I started doing that, they're like, you still going to do it? People ask me, you still going to do it? You going to get your tattoo removed? Why not? I'd rather get this tattoo removed. I care more about my career and, you know, my future more than I care about a tattoo, you know? So I feel like that pushed me a lot, you know? And then even with me not getting into the academy at first, it didn't stop me. And I kept with the mindset, like, you know what? God is telling me this is not my time right now. My time is coming soon. You know, it's just not my time right now. Yeah.
And that's so important. My pastor said it Sunday. It was just like, you know, God talks to us in a very small voice, and we have to be still enough to be able to listen and hear him when he's trying to say it. He might be trying to say it by closing the door at this particular time. And it's like, and that's how I navigate life. It's like, yo, I'll see doors that'll open up. I'll be like, okay, that's God trying to tell me, Tyrell, go this way. You know what I mean? I see doors closed and be like, okay, he's trying to tell me, Tyrell, that's danger. Stay away from danger. And you know what I mean? So, and it's the more, I mean, like I said, everyone has their own spiritual foundation. They have their own beliefs. But I think that the more spiritually in tune we become, we start looking out for the signs. So like you said, when it's your time, it'll be your time. And in the meantime, doesn't mean that I have to be miserable or negative going through that season. Because in the Bible, again, one of my favorite ones is Ecclesiastes. It'll tell you it's a season for everything. It's a season for love. It's a season for war. It's a season for forgiveness. It's a season for peace. It's a season for everything. So you got to be able to take each season. You know what I mean? So yeah, it might not be my season to get into the state troopers, or it might not be in my season to be a part of APD, but it is going to be my season when God says it's my season.
Exactly. It's going to come when it should come.
Okay. Good. Let me see. A traveling question for you. How has traveling and or relocation shifted your values or your worldview?
I think seeing different parts of the world gives you a different perspective on life and self-reflection. I love an adventure, different experiences. It exposes you to, like, you know, new ideals. So I love traveling. I love being by a beach. My cousin told me the other day, I'm always going to places tropical. I'm never going to domestic places. So I started, like, my last place I went to, I would probably say was Paris.
Nice. Paris and Paris.
It was right. That was my quote for, like, my caption for, like, every picture, Paris and Paris. And everybody was excited I was there. They're like, that's the perfect place for you. But, you know, I do a lot of self-reflecting when I travel. You know, it's a lot of people in Albany that don't get out much, you know, and they're surrounded by, you know, the norm. But it's like you self-reflect and you go to these places and, like, you know what, like, it's bigger to life than just Albany. Like, I like being in Albany, don't get me wrong, because I can always travel, do what I want to do, go where I want to go, but it's so much more to life than just Albany. Yeah.
And it's actually, you know, when I moved back there after I got out of undergrad, I think I might have stayed in Albany, might have been for 9 years or so before I moved back out. And it was just like, you know, but during that whole time that I was home, you know, I would go to work, but I would travel. You know, on the weekends I was always gone. So I'm in Charlotte, I'm in Baltimore, I'm in Vegas. So, you know, but you need to travel to recharge that battery.
It's so important. Like, even if it was just a trip to New York City, it's still, you need that. You need to get away, and traveling is so important.
Imagine living there, and it's like, you know, there's some people in Albany that don't go to Schenectady, that don't go to Troy, that don't go to Saratoga, and it'd be like, you know, yo, we got a lot of places that's right here, you know what I mean? Be able to go out in the Adirondacks and just chill out in the cabin for a weekend or something, man, and be like, yo, you got a place in New York City. I said,
Right.
you can get. I would travel to New York every other weekend before my wife and I moved down here, and be like, you can get to Harlem 2.5 hours. You know what I mean? Be
Right.
like, if you drive right, take the Major Deacon or whatever.
Right.
Boop, boop. I ain't paying. I ain't going on the George Washington. The GW is too expensive. Major Deacon all the way down. Boom.
Right.
But
No,
yeah, man.
it's definitely a lot of places to explore in Albany. I've been hiking and stuff for a while now, but I noticed there have so many different places in Albany. I found this place. It's called the Peace Pagoda. I don't know if you heard of it, but it's like literally, it's right outside of Troy. For Troy, it probably takes like 20 minutes to get there. It's so beautiful. It's peaceful. And I never knew it was there, but you wouldn't know unless you got out and experienced different things, meet new people. But hiking, I picked up that I love hiking.
Nice.
I love hiking. Nice. That's one of my big things right now. Me and my friends, we always down for a hiking trip. I love camping. My son goes camping. I send him camping every weekend with his grandparents.
Okay.
Mark's parents, they have their campsite, they have their camper, and every weekend in the summer they go camping. And they're like, "Oh, can Preston?" Yes, he sure can. He sure can come with you every weekend. He can come camping. But growing up, that's what our kids need. They shouldn't be so subjected to staying in the house all the time, playing video games, or just seeing the same people all the time. No, go camping, get that experience. Growing up, you can say, "Oh, I experienced that. I experienced this. I experienced that." It's good for them. It's healthy.
It's exposure and and consistency. I always say is the two dynamics that we need. I mean, you don't need a bunch of money. You don't need not to say money doesn't help, but it does. But you don't need a bunch of money. You need exposure and consistency. If we can expose our kids to these different things it's like I just had this conversation the other day. It was like, do you know how many colleges we have in the Capital District area? And it was like, most of our students don't even go check out different college campuses and don't even know about it until it's your senior year and you're trying to say, I want to go to Howard, I want to go to someplace. And it's like, we got all of these college campuses right here that we could start exposing our children to at a young age. And I'm just like, to prepare them for that. And their success starts early. You know what I mean? I was doing Dave Ramsey's course, and one of the guys who works with Dave Ramsey is this guy named Anthony O'Neill, but he has a book called The Debt-Free Degree. And it teaches us as parents of how to prepare for our children as early as 7th grade. And it's just like, exposing our kids to different college campuses, being able to go ahead and start a 529 for them, so that way we're not making emotionally charged decision when they're in their junior year or their senior year. We're so far behind the 8 ball, starting at that need to be starting around 7th grade, 7th, 8th grade, exposing them, saving the money for it, and preparing them for the different standardized tests that they're going to have to take. And I never really realized how important it was to start that process that early on, but it really does. Yeah.
What's the name of the book? I want to write it down.
Oh, it's called Debt-Free Degree. And it's by Anthony O'Neill. And I highly recommend it. I tell everyone about that book now. Whenever we're talking about things to do for kids to prepare them. And that's the biggest thing, is like, the goal is to make every generation a little bit better. So, we want our kids to have less of a struggle, less preparedness than what we had. So we want to be more prepared, and you start early. So yeah, man. Let me see. I got a question. I got about 3 more questions for you, and I'll let you go. I don't know if you did your Walmart shopping yet, but
I should have did grocery pickup. That's what I should have did.
Let somebody else do that and come bring it out to my car for me.
Right.
Let me see. Sometimes the experiences that taught us self-reliance and resourcefulness has also hardened us. And it makes it difficult to form genuine bonds or relationships. Can you think of an experience like this? If so, how did you deal with it, or how have you overcome with it? How have you overcame it?
Okay, you might have to explain that.
All right. Yeah. So and I can say this because as a Virgo, you will probably overanalyze this like myself too, and so it'd
Right.
be like in life we go through situations that can sometimes harden us as a person,
Okay.
but through those experiences, through those experiences, how do you make it through those experiences and be able to come out on the other side and still be able to form genuine bonds and relationships? Because everything in life is a word called the vicissitudes, the ups and downs of life. Everything isn't going to be
Right.
easy, right? So how do you go through those experiences and still come out understanding the importance of genuine bonds and relationships? Think about what you're doing with the women that you work with, empowering
Right.
them. You know what I mean? How does that resourcefulness come out for you, or why? How do you understand the value of those? Why do you understand the value of those?
I would probably say I've become more trusting
Okay.
in my relationships with other people. You know, I can't really think of any experiences off the top of my head right at this very moment, but I like you stated earlier, like when you go through things, it helps you learn to become, you know, different. Like the experiences that you go through helps you in life. You know what I'm saying? You have to go through things in order for them to, push forward. I can't think off the top of my head of any experience at this right
Okay,
now,
that's fine.
but
That's fine. Yeah, man, it's always been like, I think I would say like recently, uh so even at my job, so I work for the federal government. I've been working with Social Security for the last 14 years. So
okay,
so when you mentioned SNAP earlier, I was just like, oh, I know all about it. It was like, because half the times they'll go there, you got to apply for that, and it was like, well, I need y'all to go apply for this benefit too, see if you're
right,
eligible over there. So yeah, so but you go through you'll go through experiences, and part of the experience is you learning a deeper level of yourself.
right,
And it's like I'll look at all the negative experiences that I've ever gone through. You know what I
hmm
mean? I've always come out better on the other end, because one, I don't choose to stay in the realm of negativity and focus in on what I lost, or how this person hurt me, or how I may have hurt someone else. Right?
right,
I'll end up saying, what's the lesson? What was the thing God wanted me to take away from that experience? How am I supposed to improve? How am I supposed to get better? And you mentioned the word trust. So to not allow situations to harden you in a way that, now I don't trust anybody. I think everybody is messed up. Everyone's got bad
right,
intentions. You know
right,
what I mean? It's just like, that level of vulnerability, you know what I mean, is important, because we're gonna be hurt. We're gonna hurt other people, and they're just like, but
yep,
how do you still push on to produce the better version of Paris? How do I push on
yeah.
to produce the better version of Tyrell? So, but yeah.
I remember I have one of my homeboys who lives in Brooklyn. His name is Darrell. We call him Rel. um, so I can't remember what it was, but I remember one day driving, I'm talking to him on the phone. He's been a great friend of mine because we went to college together. He's from Brooklyn. We maintained like a great relationship. Even after college, and I call him my brother. And I remember calling him one day and I'm complaining about something. I can't remember what it was, but I'm rambling. And the whole time on the phone, he's quiet. And I'm like, hello. And he was like, so what are you going to do about it? And I'm like, you're right. Like, what am I going to do about it? You know what I'm saying? It literally got my mind going. So anything I do in life, I always, like you said, look at the positive things in it, and you can't complain. I don't like to complain about things. I always just try to find a way to get through, certain things that we go through in life. So every time something's going on, I'm like, all right, peace. So what you going to do about it? And that was probably back in, I remember exactly, it's like probably back in 2016. And 2020, it still sticks with me. Everything I do, any decision I make, or if I feel like I don't like something, or I want to vent about it or whatever, I'm like, okay, so what are you going to do about it? That's really it.
Okay. Let me see. Thinking of your strengths, what is a skill or a knowledge that you have that you wish you could transfer to other people?
My strength. Probably self-love.
Okay.
You know, I feel like I come first in anything that I do in this life, because if I can't take care of me and myself, I can't take care of anybody else.
Correct.
So, self-love. I feel like more people need to get more in tune with self-love, and I feel like that's one of my biggest strengths.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let me see. Second to last question. Actually, what opportunities do you wish to create in Albany? Or are there any opportunities in Albany that you wish that you would have taken advantage of?
We talked about before with the home ownership,
Okay.
programs. I know a little bit more about it now because I'm actually in the process now. But
Okay.
before, I didn't take advantage of a lot of the different programs that they do offer, or speak to the right people, or ask, certain questions. So I would say like home ownership programs. That's all I can think of right now.
Okay. Okay. And if you guys are definitely in that process, like I mentioned earlier, I was like, when we did that interview with Charles Toohey and Brandon Stanfield,
Right.
Brandon Stanfield's my best friend. He owns tons of properties up there, and I know he knows
Okay.
Marky too, because the house
There's
that I
Brandon
own up there.
Stanfield, so I probably know who that is. I might.
Everyone calls him Scooby.
Scooby.
No. Yeah.
Wait, Scooby? He in Troy?
No,
not
he
that
ain't.
one.
Yeah, no, he's no, well, actually he's outside of Albany now, but yeah, but anywho, I'll make sure I'll get that information over to you, and I know
Yes.
Marky knows him.
He probably does.
Definitely, yeah, because
Okay.
we all used to play basketball together up on 3rd Street all of the time, but through Marky's current job, I know he knows him because he had ended up putting me in contact with Mark for that one too, for that property that I have up there.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let me see. Are there any resources like apps, books, podcasts, social media accounts that you're following that you would like to advertise to tell other people about that have been like motivational or helpful to you?
I would say probably a few books that I've been reading. Don't get me, I can't remember the authors right now, but one of the books is How to Stop Doubting Yourself. It's like 3 books. The one I'm reading, I know, is The Color Orange, and they have a blue one and or yellow one. But the one I'm reading right now also, it's called Girl Stop Apologizing. I can't remember the author. Don't get me to lying. I read a lot of self-help books. How to keep pushing forward through whatever it is that you're going through in life, just to keep pushing forward. I follow a lot of different Instagram. I follow a lot of different pages. I can't remember all the names, but one in particular, I don't know if you know Rob Hill Sr.
That sounds familiar.
I post a lot of his quotes, online.
Okay.
Sometimes I might reference him in a status on Facebook or whatever, or post pictures of his quotes. But that's one of the ones I've been following. I've been following him for years, like maybe since I graduated college.
Okay.
And everything he talks about, whether it's self-love, relationships, just life in general. I love the things that if you go to his Instagram page, you would see exactly the stuff that he posts. But yeah.
Rob Hill Sr.
Rob Hill Sr. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. I'm on it.
I want to start getting more into podcasts. So I don't know if do you listen to podcasts?
I do, not as much now being home. So like when I used to drive into work, I would have like in the morning, be about a good 25-minute ride in, or coming home, traffic was worse. It'd be about 45 minutes. So I would listen to my podcast at that time. Because right now, with everything, with your office being at home, with the kids being at home, with you sharing space with your spouse, so right now I don't really listen as much as I do. I still make some time. Like sometimes I get like I'm off every other Monday, So, you
Okay.
know, if I have those days, I might be able to tune in and listen to it. But it's always one of my friends' podcasts. So it's nothing
Right.
really like a major or a syndicated show. It's like I got a bunch of friends who are entrepreneurs. I always invest in what my friends are doing, even with the merch I got on right now. So, you know, I always
What merch
invest in
is
them.
that?
This is called Smith. So this is my boy Lex Bibbs down in Charlotte he has capitalized on the whole Johnson C. Smith experience to the point that he has Smith University, all the clothing for Johnson C. Smith. The joint is big. Everyone from my school loves it and supports it.
Yeah.
But he also has a podcast that he does now too, where he interviews people from historically Black universities and how they have started to their own businesses and stuff like that. So I listen to his podcast. I got a friend, her and her husband do a joint called Marriage Caviar, where they are openly and transparently talking about their marriage, their struggles, their love, their children, stuff like that. So I listen to a lot of my friends' podcasts and support that way. Speaking of which, I did try to put in a plug so I can get me some culture gear, and I'm trying to figure out how I can get me some. I wrote to you a while ago. I said, yo, listen, man, I want to get some culture gear, and you was like,
Oh my
you said I'm
God.
gonna look at it, and I was like, yeah, so yeah,
You know
I'm
what?
saying it on the air. I want to get some culture gear.
No, we get you some culture gear. I probably was all over the place. Like I'm super busy. Like as you can see, like I'm always running. Even Mark tells me sometimes you gotta sit down sometimes. Like I'm always running. Like from the crack of dawn to like tonight, you know, it's either, you know, I'm going to work, dropping Pop off at school. After school, it's always like a workout for me or a workout for him, you know, or just trying to like keep it all together. But I'm always running.
Okay.
I told Mark, once Mark said today, oh, Kristen has a workout in the morning. I'm like, okay. Then after the workout, I'm like, oh, this is supposed to be my day off. He said, well, you could go home and sleep. I said, no, because I have to do this interview around now. But I'm like, but this was honestly, I'm like trying to figure out a day because I'm like, literally, I'm just so busy, you know. And then the past 2 weeks, we had 2 deaths. Like it was a lot going on, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I gotta do this interview today because he's been wanting to talk to me for like 2 months now. Since like the summertime, we didn't get to do it, and I missed the other one. I said, so I gotta make time for this today.
Well, I truly appreciate it because one, I think that your story is a story that needs to be told. I think that your story is a story that needs to be highlighted, and you are inspirational. You're inspirational to me, even living here in the DC metro area. So if you can be inspirational to me, living outside of Albany, I can only imagine what you're able to do, generating that level of energy among the women that you're working with, as well as just your circle of friends. So keep it up, P.
Thank you.
Salute to you and everything that you are doing and your aspirations of what is to come. And when God opens up those doors, I'm sure that that's going to happen, and that's going to be another accomplishment to add or to check off on that bucket list.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You know what made me happy yesterday? My father's friend. I'm driving in traffic. I'm coming up Clinton Avenue, and I'm approaching Henry Johnson Boulevard, but it's this car like beeping behind me and waving, and I'm like, who is that? I'm like, I don't know who that is. So once I approach Clinton and Henry Johnson Boulevard, a car pulls up on the left side of me, and it was my father's friend. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know that was you. And he said, I just wanted to let you know I lost 40 pounds. Consistency is key. And I'm like, what? Mind you, I don't think he updates as much on Facebook, so I don't really see anything from him. So the fact that I don't see him at all on Facebook, but he's watching, you know, what I'm doing, and it's in a positive light. And then like, consistency is key. And, you know, I always say that when I'm, you know, trying to get people to come work out and stuff. And that was major to me. Like, you're paying attention to what I'm talking about. It shows that I still have to keep, you know, showing, improving, and keep spreading positive energy into this world, because people are watching and people are, you know, I get women that's in my inbox all the time, like, oh, I want to come to the workout, but I'm not in shape. Like, you want to come to a workout, but you're not in shape. That's the reason why you should be coming to a workout. Or I feel like I'm too big, you know, or you look like this, and I'm like, everybody has to start somewhere. But as long as I can keep, you know, spreading positive energy, even if it's not just the workout, just speaking to the right people, or keep shining light and love. And I feel like I'm doing my job, you know.
And I think
But
you are.
that moment made me happy. Like, he's like, consistency is key. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he might be like 50 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lost 40 pounds, and the first thing he said, well, I just wanted to let you know consistency is key. I'm like, oh my God, that literally made my day yesterday.
Like I said, man, if you can motivate me or inspire me living outside, I can only imagine what you're able to do for those who see you do it day in and day out there. So kudos to you, because it's a huge testament to the energy and the level of positivity that you're bringing to the Albany community. And that's why I wanted to highlight you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate
No problem. So Albany community, I just want to say thank you to Paris McKnight, founder of culture, founder of this women's empowerment movement. I don't know if it's a name for it yet, but you better get up out there and get involved and become active, or what you say, consistency is key.
Consistency is key.
But thank you for taking your day off, because I know you got 10,000 other things to be doing. So thank you for taking your day off to spend some time to give this to the Albany community. And I truly hope that everyone else takes the time to get to enjoy it as thoroughly as I have as well. So thank you, Ms. P.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I'll play catch up with you next time. You have a good day.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you. You too.